Hello and welcome to another episode from Bar Security. In this episode we're going to be doing up some cylinders on a master key system, and I've had to do the calculations for this system by hand because it's on one of the ancient ones, so I couldn't use a computer to do it, which is the modern way of doing things these days. So without further ado, let's get started. So these are our cylinders. I've got 15 in total to do, and this is the workings out that I've done to work out what the keys and cuts are. As you can see, we've got up here, we've got our master key, which is the Grand Master. Then we've got our subsection master key. Then we've got our sub-master keys. There's two sub-master keys because it is a legacy suite, but we're going to be working on the AB sub-master. And what I use is a 3-chamber system. So the first two correspond, as you can see, to the submaster, and then we work off these 3 chambers here on a 5-pin. If we were utilising a 6-pin system, then that would be a 4-chamber rotation system that I use. And then over here we have our plug pins at the top and our master wafers, which make up the gaps to allow all the keys to operate. And it's just a basic mathematical algorithm. The reason I'm able to do this myself by hand is without the aid of a computer is because back in 1991, when I first started out in the locksmith industry, this is what we did. We used to make our own master key systems. As you can see, even I make the odd mistake here and there. So that's the paperwork. That's the basics of working it out. And what I do is I use, as you can see by the numbers, I use a space of 2 on EVVA. The reason I use a space of 2 is because if you get a bit of wear and tear and you only got a space of 1, it's a very minute amount, and it's possible that keys could cross. I also use odd numbers and even numbers, and that's the basic method of doing it. So just as an example, 13412 is actually the pinning sequence of the Grandmaster key. 2 and 1 makes 3. 2 and 3 makes 5. Then we've got our differ keys here. So you've got 6, 5, 6. So 2 and 4 are 6. 4 and 1 is 5. And 4 and 2 is 6. And that sequence changes as you go down through the different steps. Right, so I've got my my workspace all sorted. I've got my plug pins at the back in the sequence that I need to put them into the actual barrels. I've got all my keys already pre-cut using my Futura machine. I've got the master key here as well, and I've also got my breakdown key and my Euro cylinder clip. I shouldn't need the circlip remover, but we'll see. I buy these in all pin to 1, so they all have a 1 in them already. And they come with the clips actually in the bag, the barrel. That's our key and key, which is slightly different than our key and turn. Now, this section isn't a section master key system. It's actually a 594 key, which is one of our legacy security keys. So I've got some plugs here that I've had in stock for a while. I'm finally, since the 90s, starting to go through and reuse. So what we'll do is we'll pin our cores up first so that they're ready to go in. Let's start with my first key. Now I know, because of the way I've done the maths on this, that all my plug pins are all going to be to that key. So I'm going to pop that in first, and let's get started. So the first one we got is we've got 1, 3. That's my 3s here. Hope I got enough of them. We'll find out as we go. It's 1, 3. And I've got 4. Another 1. Pop that in the wrong chamber. Another 1. And then we've got a 2. So that's our plug pins in, and they're all nice and flat at the top, which is what you want to see. So now we grab our servant key, as you can see, pop that in. Then you can now see there's all the gaps there. So on this one, I've got 3 number 2s, as you saw in the schedule earlier, and 2 number 4s. So let's put 2. Another 2. And another 2. 2 4s. This is why we work with a rubber mat. We do more than just pin up cylinders. I mean, we offer a full locksmith service as well, complete with fitting locks, opening locks, and gates and grills as well. We do the old gates and grills. Where'd it go? Drop there, I'll see it on here. This has moved on me. That's on, it did fall on the rubber mat, and I did see it, but where'd it go? Isn't that amazing? Ah, there we are. Amazing how things just tend to try and vanish. So that's our first sequence done. Now you can see the little master wafers have made up the gaps. And we're just going to do the second plug, or as they call it in EVVA, they're kerns, which simply means plug. The other advantage is as well that when you've got your master key as the for all your plug pins, you've always got that option that if you do miss a master wafer, which does happen when you're doing large suites, then at least you know you can always rectify it by using the master key to strip it down and then repin it. It's a bit proud, that one. Right, so that was sitting slightly high, which would cause a problem, but now I've got it, so that's sitting nice and level. And then we'll just pop our tiny little master wafers. You can see those there. So again, we've got 3 number 2s. One number and 2 number 4s on this one. There you have it. We also adjust locks. We cut all different types of keys. I even have a machine that will make a blank from scratch, provided it's not a patented key. So if you do have an obscure key that you can't get, likelihood is we can do it for you. Right, so put me cut down key in, put my clip in. Now the reason I prepared the plugs first is there's less chance of dropping the pins, the body pins. It does happen. It's happened to me on many an occasion, but then it means you just got to strip it all down both sides and pin it all back up again from scratch. But doing it this way is better because we don't have that issue, or less likely to have that issue. Like I said, it does happen time to time, usually because the spring clips come loose. There we go. Just pop that straight in. Line it up with the coupling inside. There's no sidebar on these, so it doesn't matter which way you turn it. It's just a basic cylinder, really. There we go. So master key, check the other key. There we go. Check the other side. Now, what have I forgotten to do? Well, I haven't forgotten, but there's something very important that I haven't done. And if I don't do it, what happens? The whole cylinder will come apart. Very embarrassing. Yes, you guessed it. Forgot the circlip. So I'll pop that in. They're called circlips, that's the terminology for it. But you might also call it a retaining clip, which is fine because that's basically what it does. Always give it a little tap just to make sure the clips are in place proper. Okay, so that's our first barrel done. Put it back into its sleeve. Like I said, the keying keys are always the toughest. Right, that goes in that box. Right, I won't bore you with the other two keying keys I got to do, but I will be back to show you that I'm doing the Euro key and tone. Okay, so I've just done the three keying keys. Next on the list is I've got 12 of these key and turns to do. Again, I've got them all keyed one bitted, so they're pre-assembled. Got my little circlip in there as well in the bag. Same kind of thing applies. The only difference is that this has got a little sprung pin inside which we need to swap over. So plus it's a little less labour intensive as well. So as before, we put our bottom pins in first, or plug pins as they're known. I'll try and stick to the terminology for you because it gets confusing otherwise. Always having fun. This is my business partner just coming up here now. Also my dad, so it's a family run business. Say hello, Dad.
Hi.
He usually works the office and does the phones and the account side of it for me, and leaves me to get on with doing the actual work itself at the sharp end. So now on this one, we've got 3 2s on the master wafer, and we're doing key number 28 on our sequence. So now we've got a 6 and a 2. Again, if you remember the math sequence I showed you earlier, this is the practical side of doing it. So that's our barrel prepped. And now we're going to strip down our 1-bit cylinder. Might be a storm coming, maybe. It's supposed to rain. You wouldn't think we're towards the end part of May, would you? No, I certainly don't. Right, so as you can see, you've got that sprung little pin on the side here, which is held in by that brass spacer. We've got our spring out. Now, because we've already pinned this up, all I've got to do is pop these few little bits back in again. So we've got our spring, our pin, and our spacer. Moment of truth. Back in. Works, turning the thumb turn. We turn our thumb turn off, it connects, turns, it's good and solid. That's what I want to see. Let's try a master key. So I'm not going to bore you with the other 11 barrels that I've got to do. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next video.